Today's kickoff preview is brought to you by Trophy Smack. It's not too late to take your league up to the next level. Whether it's a trophy or a last place ribbon, go to www.trophysmack.com for 15% off your whole entire order. Today's episode, we are going to recap week 1, just scratch the surface on waivers, and then, catch up with your dudes as always.
This is the Fantasy Football Dudes podcast.
What is up, my dudes? This is Trent with the Fantasy Football Dudes podcast. I am joined by Phill, Jordan, and a special guest, Phill, on the podcast today, guys.
You said Phill twice.
Yeah, you said
Phill
Phill.
twice?
I don't think you said Seth. You're just so giddy because I'm back.
You didn't say yourself, Trent.
I didn't say myself. Yeah, myself, Trent.
Are you giddy because I'm back? Or do you
Did
hate?
you say bringing what back? No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm in a fad of I always just go left or right like that. I believe
You're in a zesty mood.
When we first started the
Feisty
pod,
mood.
I tried to switch it up. I'm gonna say Jordan first, or I'm gonna say Phill first,
Just so no one gets
Samuel.
offended.
I thought that, then I said, you know what, this is too much for me to comprehend.
Last time you even said Phill
Like
was
most
here and he
things.
wasn't here.
That was just to tease people. People rage turned it off to find out he was there. Then they're like, oh, he was on. Okay, I'll listen.
Just to defend Phil's honor for missing the last month of pods, people were sad he wasn't on the live.
I know.
Oh, really?
That's
Yeah.
where he thrives. But
Yeah,
It's true.
Hey, Seth. You know what? Can I have a little bit of love? Thank you for saying that, Seth.
Here's
People
the
miss
deal.
you, Phil, but for
If
not
you
good
at least
reasons.
been on the live, you might
Yeah.
have seen that.
I know. I
At least been in the chat. Come on, dude.
who would you?
Diva of the week: people who don't use calendars and double, triple book themselves. Can we all agree with that?
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Google Calendar, great app.
I've
works
come to
really
find
good.
that when you keep having children, it becomes more and more difficult to manage your schedule. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's true. No, I agree with that. But
That's
why
for me. It's become
That's not a sponsor. Google Calendar really helps me out. My wife can, populate my calendar, and I know what I'm doing that night, or I can be like, hey, I have a live
Do
stream
you have a
tonight.
work calendar?
I do have a work calendar. I should probably put it on there, right? Is that what you're saying?
Just put it on your work calendar.
Yeah.
It might be better.
Yeah, no, you're right. I sometimes I'll forget that I have a haircut scheduled, and so that's what I started doing, just throwing it on my work calendar.
No, I do the same thing. No, if
There you
I
go.
don't have, I never was one of those people in school, hey, I'm going to use the planner calendar they used to
Yeah.
give you.
What did you do in school?
I got by.
Okay.
I got by. School hard knocks. Anyways, but what I'm saying is the calendar on my phone, I don't know how I functioned without that. Helped me so much.
you like Apple?
I have
calendar?
Google Calendar. I've said it
okay.
twice. Not a
Sorry.
sponsor of the pod.
Well, you said it was on your phone, so
yeah,
just like the average one that you get on there.
that one's not good. I wouldn't use it. I have a reminder on my calendar every week to put my recyclables.
It's good to be clear, though.
Phill,
That's all I'm saying.
tell us about you did one cool thing since you've been gone. We'll give you 2 minutes
This
to talk
is
about
the
that.
embarrassing thing?
It's week 1. We're a little frustrated. We have some tilts. People have been calling us out about Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, Chief stuff. So Phill, just your quick, what was the one thing you did that was really crazy that you
Was
wanted
I
to talk
sick
about?
2 weeks ago? Why didn't I come?
You were on vacation, then you had work, then you had a scrimmage for a soccer game.
That's true. I had work. Yeah, so I was out at work. But probably the coolest thing that's ever happened to me, and I probably shouldn't be asking people who have, and it's not even that cool. I probably shouldn't be asking people who have golf memberships at golf courses, but I got dangerously close to a hole-in-one, and I am not a good golfer. Okay,
What par was it?
it was a par 3. I was shooting from.
Was it a par 3 course or an actual course?
It was an actual golf course. It was out in Texas. My brother-in-law, every once in a while when we get together, which is not a lot because he doesn't live in the same state, but we'll play a round of golf. Just not even a round. We'll play 9 holes, okay? Just to get out there, get on the links. It is blistering hot in Texas, right? And I don't know if it was the Texas heat or what it was that warmed me
Probably
up.
the jeans that you were wearing.
I was wearing shorts this time, but the main problem is that Seth, that was a good one.
Is that
I
better?
didn't think that we were going to be playing golf, so I was wearing a Hawaiian shirt and Vans. But hear me out, a guy pitched a no-no in Vans a couple days before, so I felt a little bit more confident walking on the links.
I don't think that was a month ago.
Yeah, I was gone 2 weeks ago.
That was over a month
Phil
ago.
has had a
Seth,
hard
just
time
give me-
keeping
just-
up with sports. He asked
Okay,
us
okay.
on Saturday if we knew Colorado was ranked.
Anyhow,
Vacation
no,
was
that's not
hard
what
on
I
him.
said. Anyhow, we're on par 3.
Newsflash, Phil was actually in Antarctica.
Anyhow, I just blistered this ball. I was just it was It
I've
was.
seen blister. Like you said it twice
is
in one
just-
sentence.
Does that offend you?
What were you using? Were you using a pitching wedge? Were you using a 7? Do you
I
even
teed
know?
up with an 8. I teed up
Okay.
with an 8. I teed up with an 8.
Gave
was-
it all you got.
No, I wanted.
He
So
actually hit it on his backswing. And he was like,
I,
oh.
I hate that you're actually funny this pod because you have
it hit the windmill, then it bounced back.
Oh, this is so
I
stupid.
forgot to mention it was mini golf, 9 holes of mini golf.
Par 3 mini golf, guys.
Oh, this is so.
That explains why you'd be wearing a Vans and a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah. Anyhow, the guy that we were with, he said that is the closest I've ever seen to seeing someone get a hole in one. And I was like, it was probably, I ended up birding it as you know, I'm clutch over consistency is what they say about me. And and which leads into my Laporta take.
Hold on, before you get to the Laporta take, define almost a hole in one.
So I
Like how far?
No, I don't. Just how far?
I'll show you. I'll pull it up and you guys can say like
I will say it was probably
Just give me a measurement.
7 yards.
no
That is not a hole in
stupidity.
one.
Stupidity.
Okay,
This is how
7
close
yards
it was.
is pretty close.
That's pretty close.
That's pretty close.
It's
I-
pretty
That
it's,
doesn't help.
it's,
In
it's
a,
hard to see.
I
It's
would-
probably
It's about like a foot away.
less.
2 feet.
Less. No, it's
That looks about a foot.
That's
all
about
right.
a
Well,
foot. Yeah, I
depends
was.
on how
I
you-
was
Phil
probably.
Phil
setting
couldn't
up the
measure
measurement.
because if he would have walked there, it would have messed up his line, and then he would have been
I
messed
told
up.
this story a couple months ago. Like, I went golfing for this charity for the local high school wrestling
for
team,
himself.
and charity.
His own charity golf. He needs to deposit into his Underdog account and he gets
Yeah.
some charity.
Underdog charity. And I almost had a hole in one, but the reason why it did not go in was because my nephew, who was golfing in the party in front of me, crushed up Cheetos and sprinkled them around the hole.
oh my.
And I'm not kidding. The ball bounced differently after it hit the Cheeto. Like
And it
it
was-
bounced and it was gonna bounce again and then roll in. Like
It was clear as day.
clear as day. It wasn't a hole in one, but it would have been like an eagle. It was on my second shot.
Oh, it was okay.
It was a par
This
four.
story's got
Seth- yeah,
significantly
Seth's-
less
Seth's
interesting.
nephew-
Sorry, I didn't mean
yeah,
to harp- I didn't
Seth's
mean to harp.
nephew's like one of those guys that just walks around with hot Cheetos and Mountain Dew. The kid's wild, man.
And dumps them around the hole because
Yeah.
he knows I'm about to chip. You know,
That's
And
a
I'm like,
party.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
All right, let's get into week 1. It was a rough week.
Should I get into my Laporta take though? The guy had like 6 catches.
So, what's your take?
What do you want to say about Laporta? And you did say that he
I did say he was going to be good, and I felt like we felt pretty confident that the Lions were going to use him. I was talking to Trent, and I think that what I should do at some point is say, like, if I'm going to give a take that I feel like is going to be good, we should suggest it, but say that like you need some insurance around this, like shot in the dark take.
What was his stat line, Phil?
I think he had 6 receptions, or at least 6 targets.
He had 5 catches for how many yards?
69, 68.
He has 39 yards. You're acting like he was like had 2 touchdowns and 8 catches and second coming of
What was
Travis
his
Kelce.
A dot?
Yeah, well, here's
Probably not high.
Here's the deal. His take was better than
His A dot was definitely not high because he had a long of 14. The one reception was 14 yards, half of his yards.
Clutch over consistency.
No, like he was fine, but you're acting like he was like awesome.
He
He was better than Sky Moore, though. I'll give you that.
For a rookie tight end to come out and get that many targets in their first game, I would say is like somewhat surprising.
Yeah, I know it was the most receptions by a rookie tight end
Thank
since
you,
TJ
Trent.
Hawkinson.
Thank you, Trent. So people did make a big deal
So
about that,
since
right?
3
Did that
years
get
ago.
brought up on the commentating?
Well,
Was it
yes,
worth noting?
Yeah, it was worth noting.
Thank
it was
you.
Worth noting.
That's right.
So since the last Iowa tight end to come out,
Uh-huh.
That's right. Correct.
Yep. Yeah.
Thank you.
Speaking of ADOT, though, the modern man's a man who takes care of himself. Manscaping isn't just for life's special occasions. It's a requirement for optimal health and healthy self-esteem. You now have the right tools for a safe and precise grooming and hard to navigate sensitive areas, guys. So go over to Manscaped, enter promo code DUDES20 for 20% off your whole entire order. Guys, they got boxers, the Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker for the nose and the ears, all kinds of stuff. They got a new handheld razor for your face. Looks really nice. I think it's called the Handyman. But yeah, go over to Manscaped. Tell them the dudes sent you. Enter promo code DUDES20. What else we got to do? You guys-
Trent, next
Can I-
time,
can I just
hold on,
say-
hold on. Next time you want to use ADOT as a transition, you know what you should transition to?
What?
Maybe an Underdog or Sleeper promo.
Yeah, well, there's always next time.
I'm just trying to think what A dot has anything to do.
It doesn't.
No.
He could have used the underdog or sleeper.
Clean your A dot. I don't know what that is. you
I
know?
just like his
Because
last
that-
transition that he did, the big transition that we were all like laughing at. Do you remember when he did that transition? He
I can't
transitioned
remember
last
3
week.
weeks
You
ago.
remember when he transitioned last week when he did
You haven't
the
been here a while, Phil. I
He
can't
did that-
remember that far.
No, when he was like what were you saying? You kept saying like he kept shaved. He's like, you probably could have shaved a couple off. And he
Oh,
kept
yeah.
saying it like 3 or 4
Yeah.
times, and then he was like, yeah.
So stupid.
Let's jump into our
That
starts.
was a good transition for what it's worth.
We got our starts of the week. You want to do some headlines from the game today, things that surprised you? You wanted to recap starts and sits real quick, kind of defend our honor.
We can recap our starts and sits.
All right. My start.
I forgot what I had.
My
Do you want
start
me to
of the
take
week-
these? I usually
Yeah,
take
go-
these
go
just
ahead.
as
Yeah,
just as a
yeah,
heads up.
yeah,
This is
you take
usually how it goes.
Yeah, we've kind of learned to do this pod without you, unfortunately.
So Trent starts were Tyler Higbee, Devonta Smith. Jordan starts were Sky Moore and Cam Akers. Seth starts were Kadarius Toney and Jameer Gibbs. And then if we want to talk about our sits, Trent sat Najee.
Wait.
Okay.
Let's get.
Okay, so you want to talk about the starts a little
Who
bit?
is Trent starts again?
Tyler Higbee and Devonta Smith.
I thought that Tyler Higbee would absorb a lot of those targets.
Puka,
but
Nakua.
Puka went off.
Tutu Atwell.
Yeah, and Tutu finally, I've had Tutu for a couple years in some dynasty leagues. I think I dropped him this
I think
offseason.
Van Jefferson's dead.
Van Jefferson, yeah.
Yes,
Rip,
yeah.
Rip Van
He's
Jeff.
still there. He's
Rip
still
Van J.
around, yeah.
What else do we got here? So
I
I
mean-
thought Higbee'd have a decent game. Do we want to recap that game any other than that?
Here's my problem with I think Higbee's just dead. He's old.
think so.
He's like on his way to his coffin, like He's on his
Jeez.
way to
I don't.
retire.
Hey, no more dead takes on this.
It's very
pod,
possible
okay?
that Higbee only had a good game.
Figuratively.
He's
because
30. He's 30
It's
years
very
He
old.
is 30 years old.
He feels like he's way older, doesn't he? Though.
Yeah.
It's very possible Higbee only had a good game because they played the Seahawks, whose secondary was
What did Higbee
awful.
have? He had a good game.
He
like
had
9 points.
No, he had 6 points.
Sorry,
That's
6
better than the
better
than the 0.9 I got from Isaiah Likely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's unlikely.
And Isaiah.
And then you had
And then he had Devonta Smith, which was a good.
That's
I would
fine.
say that was a good.
I
that was a.
Yeah, it was, he kind of started kind of shaky. He's got a
got
touchdown pass.
Sorry, did
right
you
away.
say
He
you
almost
you
got
meant
bailed out by
Devonta Smith? I
touchdown.
see you have DeAndre Swift up there. You
Yeah,
had Devonta Smith. Okay,
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, I have Devonta Smith, and he was kind of scored a touchdown early, and then he turned it on the second
Well, the
half.
Eagles
Yeah.
got up 16-0, and then. But I think the problem with that in hindsight, Trent, is like the Patriots are probably just not a team you really want to attack in general.
No, the defense looked good. Yeah.
And then we can move over. We can kick it over to. I mean, Jordan, do you want to talk
I
about?
have no like Sky Moore sucks. Like I mean honestly, like I thought that he wasn't as bad as Tony. I thought Mahomes let him down a couple times. I thought the one he was probably gonna have a 30-yard, maybe 4. I don't know. He might have caught that and ran if Mahomes gives him a good throw down the middle of the field. But he dropped a
should've caught it,
couple. I mean, it just he wasn't targeted. Like, so I don't know if it's just like not good. Like that'd be a guy I'd almost like want to go back and like
Watch the
watch
film.
only his route running and like is he open and Mahomes is not seeing him or is he not getting open? I don't really know, but I was wrong. I paid the price.
You think he's struggling with like separation or something?
That's why I don't know. That's
Yeah.
why I'm saying like I wish I could see like like the only watching him, like the whole the field view camera, which I think you can if you do like the NFL. I think there's a package you can buy from NFL to see that. But I don't know. I was just wrong. Like, there's no two ways about it. I was wrong about it. It cost me. So I mean,
your reaction on the live stream were pretty good though. I did catch some of those.
what to which part?
Just a variety of different one where you're just oofing and offing, just like
Yeah.
Just cheesed off.
cheesed right off. Do you go into Cam Akers?
So the Akers thing, just
Interesting.
another one I was wrong about. Like and it's probably going to cost me because I have a lot of him in best ball. I have a lot of him just in season long and one of my main season long teams. He's like my RB1 and Kyron Williams 67% snaps, 15 carries, 2 targets, 54 yards. 2 touchdowns. Cam Akers, 33% snaps, 22 carries. Seth watched more of that game at the end. I wasn't watching it, and he said most of those carries were garbage time. So
I would say probably, how many do you have, you said?
he had 13 in the third quarter.
Yeah, but the Seahawks were kind of still
I mean,
messed
he
up in
had
the third
when he
quarter.
scored that touchdown, it was still relatively close.
Yeah.
And he had 13 when he scored that touchdown. So, I don't know. I got bailed out even by it. Could have been disaster if he didn't score a touchdown, but just wrong. I don't know. At least like week one's hard. Not trying to give myself an excuse, but I was just wrong.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I guess I can go.
Yeah,
straight
go into
to
yours,
my
go into yours.
Tony take. So Tony did not play as much as I thought. I know he came off knee surgery, but that's still not an excuse because he still got targeted 5 times, and probably out of the 5 targets, he dropped I think about 3.
He scored a touchdown on one.
Tony?
Tony.
He should have scored a touchdown. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You should have. And he
Oh,
also-
I was like,
The other team
Oh,
scored a
yes,
touchdown.
yes,
yeah.
yeah.
It's
One of them led directly to a touchdown.
probably the worst like week of like Twitter in a long time I've seen for a guy. Like
That
they had
guy
the
got
picture of him with
absolutely
his gloves on.
obliterated.
They were bricks and stuff. Like, oh, they
they're
tore that
they're
guy
doing
up.
like the wanted like the pool things.
Oh,
Did you
yes.
guys see that one? Like around Kansas City, it was like those wanted things and like
Oh,
a
yeah.
phone number. It's like
Paper.
the wide receiver, and it was like wanted wide receivers that can catch, and it was like
Said, like the
perks.
pay's good. Only have to work on Sundays. Like
and you could like take one. Oh, that was so good.
it had the Chiefs website.
So I think it's very possible. Like when Travis Kelce comes back, I think we can even see Sky Moore and Tony kick up. But I think even for like the last few years, ever since Tyreek's gone, it's just hard to trust any KC receivers. And I just think it's going to be hard for anyone to trust them, to start them week by week. You're just going to have to see if a trend starts to develop before you can trust starting it. But I would say hold on to both Sky Moore and Tony and kind of just wait to see how it plays out. And then hopefully they become something and you can move into your starting spot. Gibbs, I mean, he played 27% of snaps, so not as much as we wanted, but they did say they would ease him in. But when he did play in those 27 snaps, he had 7 attempts for 42 yards, and he had 2 targets and 2 receptions.
And
for
he had a
18.
ton of missed tackles. Like he forced a lot of missed
He had
tackles.
7, I think, which is a lot, only touching the ball 9 times.
Yeah. So when he got the ball, he was making things happen.
And I think-
like he did the most with what he could with his opportunities. I think Montgomery had a solid game.
No, David Montgomery had a great game, but I think as the Lions season progresses and when they are the Lions weren't necessarily down this game, so they were able to run the ball with Montgomery. But when they are down in games, Gibbs is going to stay in the game,
Yeah,
and they're going to use him. He might not be the goal line back like that we're hoping, but he's going to, like we said, when you make people miss, there's that big playability, and he has that. And so I'll take the L this week.
Yeah.
But I think there are going to be weeks where he has like 20-point performance.
Yeah.
and that game was 10 points off its total.
Yeah.
There was a total of 42 points. I think it was 42 points total. I think it was 21-20, right?
Yeah,
That
it
it
was
ended up being
42.
the line it was supposed to be a 52 point total. And so the fact that it was so much lower, I think some of your guys probably got hurt by it, but I think probably the person who got hurt by it the most was probably Gibbs, right? Wouldn't you say he's probably one of the people who got hurt by the most by that total?
On the maybe
Who else would
They
you
did
see?
say they would ease him in, so I mean it makes sense.
I think it hurt Amon-Ra St. Brown.
He was gonna be my next one.
I think it probably hurt him the most.
he
It's
still
like-
had a good game though.
Yeah, but what was it? We were a catch off for breaking, that prop right there with him.
Yeah, I mean I would just say I think
I
I
think,
think everyone in general, like I don't think very many people made a lot of money today. When it comes to, I mean, Jordan knows more than me, but I think more people thought weeks would play out differently. Higher profile players would play better, like we did. But like I said, we're gonna get into the duds later. So
speaking about the Chiefs, guys, I saw something interesting from JJ Zacharyson. He tweeted that, what was it? He said, I think MVS had the second most routes on the Chiefs behind Noah Gray. Just to put that in.
Yeah, he led, but Sky Moore also had
I'm trying to
like
find
he
it
was
here. It's
second.
a huge
Sky
stat.
Moore was also second in routes run for receivers on the Chiefs. So like,
Did you see the Clyde Edwards thing?
Sky Moore played 69% of snaps.
yeah, I mean, Sky Moore was out there. Just MVS, I think played like 75, 80%.
I didn't see the
Probably 'cause
Sky.
he can
Okay,
block better,
here it
yeah.
is right here. Noah Gray led the Chiefs in routes run on Thursday with 34. Marquez Valdez Scantling and Sky Moore were second and third. So I'm guessing Sky Moore was third.
Yeah, Sky Moore was third.
Respectfully, Kadarius Toney and Rashee Rice had 10, just 10 each, but they were targeted on half of them. So they want Toney to be involved.
Sky Moore was cardio. He's doing cardio out there.
Yeah.
MVS is doing cardio out there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Noah Gray thing doesn't surprise me either. He
No,
went
that
right
doesn't
into the
surprise
Kelsey
me.
role. Like, honestly, if Kelsey's out again next week, I would Noah Gray is just a good option again next week.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I can't pull it up, but it was basically a complete running lane that he had that he just completely missed.
I saw that.
But whether you hate the people in your life or you love them, probably lean more of the hate than the love, but that's okay. You should tell them about the dudes, fantasy football dudes. We bring people together. The highest compliment you can give us is to share us with your friend. You know, whether that be text, you know, send them a link to our live thread. You know, anything that involves sharing us in some way or another. So don't be rude. Share the dudes. You know, referral friend, you know, send us, you know, add us to our group chat, add them to a group chat. We can get to know them, become friends with them. Careful who you add me with, just for what it's worth. But just remember, don't be rude. Tell a dude. All right, let's get into our sits. Trent, you had Najee Harris and James Conner. Jordan, you had Marquise Brown and Damian Pierce. And Seth, you had Debo Samuel and DeAndre Swift. Seth, since you had the best sits, I'm going to let you start. I would say for the most part, you had one really stellar sit.
Okay, so Debo 8.8. I think he was getting around his projected. I don't think this is showing his running.
Did he get any carries?
He had some carries. I think he had some. I know that.
I can pull it up right here.
He was 5 for 7 for 55 yards. I think he was decent, but we all saw how good Ayuk had. He was a top 3 receiver. We noticed also too with Purdy last year, Ayuk was his top red zone target as a receiver. It wasn't Debo, just because I think Ayuk's maybe a little more quicker and he runs the slant a little bit better. So Ayuk is going to take away those red zone targets from Debo. I think like Jordan made Debo his dud of the year. I just think
he was just shy of his projected.
It was pretty easy. I knew we weren't. I knew he wasn't going to get his 10 points. Like I think we can expect Debo to usually get below his projected points this year.
But Swift, that's the one that I want to do.
So yeah, if we go to Swift, this one's interesting. I'm not even getting a snap percentage here because he had one attempt.
I have it right here.
Go ahead.
28% snaps.
Okay, so 28. So when he was in, he wasn't getting the ball, which is interesting. So he's in the backfield. They're throwing. He had 2 targets though, and 1 attempt. I don't even understand. Gainwell played most of the game.
Played 62% snaps.
62%, had 14 carries, 4 for 4 in receptions and 20 yards. So like even he's the favorite like receiving back. And Penny was a healthy scratch. So I don't even know what's
Boston Scott special teams guy. I think Gainwell is like honestly might be one of the premier ads of the week, I think, like waiver wire, just because
61% rostered on Sleeper.
Is he? So like
61.
shoot, I know literally like a month ago live while we were doing the pod, I grabbed him in our dynasty league. I think he's like a must have. I think he should be like 90. He's the RB1 on a team that is pretty high profile offense, and I don't think they played well today. And they're going to be up in games, or they're going to run the ball.
Yeah.
Do you think since
they run the ball so much around the goal line?
Do you think since they didn't play well, they might shake it up and it might be totally different next week? That's the only thing that. Okay.
I mean, Gainwell had like 3 red zone carries too, like 3 carries. Like he's the guy there. Like he's the guy.
14 attempts, 54 yards, 4 targets, 4 receptions, 20 yards. So,
I mean, Jalen Hurts did not play well. Mm-hmm. I don't think like he fumbled. Like it just.
It's the first game.
Yeah, but I think Gainwell's if he's available in your league, he's like a must add, I think.
Nice.
Like
are you feeling about him like you did about Ramondre last year? It's not a similar situation, but it sort of is a similar situation.
Yeah,
do you get what I'm saying?
I think Gainwell's the one thing that I would say is that like this sounds crazy, but I think I was more confident in his role last year. Ramondre's role last year throughout the whole year. Like, obviously, to Trent's point, like, it could change. on the dime. Like it could change whenever.
So you just got to play it while it's hot, basically. Is what
Yeah,
you're
I just
saying.
think he's good. Like I think right now, from what we can tell, he's the RB1, and it's not really close. Like,
Yep. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go backwards here. Jordan, you go ahead and give us your so talk about your sits here a little bit.
I think I was okay with mine. I had Dameon Pierce, who was being kind of ranked in the top 20. He only had five points, 11 carries, 38 yards, 2 receptions, 3 targets. Let me see if I can pull up his. This tweet doesn't have his snap count, but I would imagine he plays most of the game. I'd be curious what Singletary did. He had 4 more carries than Singletary. It's just a tough matchup for them. I don't hate Dameon Pierce the rest of the year. I think he was being a little bit overranked though. But yeah, so Dameon Pierce, and then
You also had Marquise Brown.
yeah, let me.
He ended in this is in
He had 7.2 and half point.
Yep.
So it would have been like 10 and full, or like 9 and
It's
full
just
point.
shy of 9,
and,
yeah.
He only had 5 targets.
3
He had
receptions.
a rush for like 29 yards, but Arizona actually didn't play horrible this week. I think it may be more with the Washington played really bad, but shout out to Sam Howell for getting me through on my survivors.
Yeah. I forgot you had a survivor with that.
Yeah, I had 2 and 1. I had 2 Washington and 1 Baltimore. So,
I'm looking just because we brought up Cam Akers. Kyron Williams, he's 6% rostered.
I think he's also up there with Gainwell.
Only thing is they are playing the 49ers this week. So
Yeah, maybe not
McVay
good.
usually isn't great against the 49ers.
Yeah, honestly,
But,
that might be a good sit next week.
Yeah,
just the
you
whole
might.
Rams
Yeah, you
backfield.
might. Yeah, you might be able to get this guy again after next week's.
Yeah.
What I'm saying. So if you got the roster space, pick up Kyron Williams, but I don't think I'm playing him.
But I think Marquise Brown going forward is just scary.
Yeah.
I don't really. So, but I
Without
feel
a
good about my sits. Like I think I did.
I
as
think
bad
we
as
all
I
did. We all
on
did
my
good on sits. This
Sits
week.
was easier this week than starts. It's not always like that, but it was a lot easier this week.
Yeah. So my sits, I had Najee Harris. He had 4 fantasy points. You said this when you walked in here, Jordan. Like we've been getting up on the Steelers, and everyone kind of has. But Najee Harris had 6 attempts for 31 yards, 2 targets for 2 receptions for 2 yards. So he had under 40 total yards the whole
Played
game.
52% snaps.
Yeah. And what did Jalen?
39% snaps.
And what were his stats?
It probably wasn't great either. but-
Okay, Warren had 4 fantasy points, so they're about the same.
They were also down like 20-0 in like 5 minutes.
Very fast. So 49ers looked good. A lot of people were saying they looked like the most complete team of week 1, offense, defense, but also, everyone was talking about the Steelers. You even thought the Steelers might win that game, Jordan. You put yourself in
yeah.
with the talking heads. And then I had James Conner, who had 9.5 fantasy points, and he just got honestly
this week you might take the 9.5 and run.
Well,
but
the game script with that wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought that the Commanders were going to kill him. And I said the K word. I said I wasn't going to say that anymore. But James Conner, it was just close enough that he kept getting touches. So
he got 5 receptions, 5 targets, 5 receptions.
And I think he probably, as long as he's healthy, probably got to play him in your lineup, but I don't know if he gets more than that. Like, I don't think he's going to destroy your team.
I think he has a little bit more.
I think he'll finally. Cardinals defense played pretty well today. You see that one hit when the ref got KO'd and he threw the flag while he was sitting down? Did anyone see that?
No.
It's so good. So Sam Howell's scrambling out and he's trying to get out of bounds. A guy hits him and the other Cardinals guy just takes his head off, goes into the ref. The ref falls over. The ref from his back, just throws the flag up like a little
It's like slow mo.
Yeah, it was just like.
Just like a pitiful.
Of course, I was joking, but I said hey, I think this ref's concussed. That clearly wasn't a flag, and people just went off on me on Twitter. So.
Oh man, that's so good.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, so that kind of wraps up our starts and sits. Is there anything else I mean, we're week 1. Is there anything that makes you nervous, Jordan, outside of our starts and
So
sits?
just a couple other things. I have some snap counts here. So hold on, we'll get there. Javonte outsnapped Samaje Perine for all the people who thought Javonte was going to be eased in.
But the hand was the carries pretty similar.
I mean, it was 48-45, so it was close. But what I'm saying is that if it's already going to be 50-50, 13 attempts for Javonte.
8 attempts for Pirine.
Yeah.
And 4 receptions for
how?
Pirine.
Javonte had 6 targets.
Okay.
So, like, Russell Wilson also sucks still.
Yeah,
He is washed.
I caught the end of that
We're
game.
going to get a lot of dump downs to the running backs.
Yeah.
So, if Javante's already getting 48%, Javante's going to be up to 60, 65, 70 by the end of this year. And he looked good. Like, from what I saw, he didn't look bad. We talked about the Kyron thing already. For anyone who was concerned about Ramondre and Zeke were 74-35. It's kind of interesting. They played 9% of snaps together.
What about just weird? You guys
Zeke
are talking.
fumbled once too.
We were talking about this when we came in. Daniel Jones situation. Like, what are you guys thinking about there?
Bad matchup, I think.
Yeah, it's tough.
Like,
They actually moved the ball really well on that first drive. The blocked field goal, and it just was downhill from there.
He had 13 attempts on the ground.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
taking
Probably
off. Well,
scrambling and just taking
a
off.
lot of them were designed.
he ran 4 times on
Yeah.
the first drive, too.
So that's not terrible, right?
No, I mean, it was...
But he was just getting beat up though in passing.
Fun fact, Daniel Jones scored more points than Joe Burrow today.
Yeah, so did Dobbs.
Joe Burrow was horrible. The Bengals were horrible.
I think
But
it was raining.
Well, he didn't
profusely.
play all. He hasn't played in a long time. Like,
yeah,
what
but I
do we?
mean, he was...
The Browns
well-
own him.
The crazy thing is, Trent, he completed 14 passes and only had 82 yards.
Yeah, and Chase.
How many points did Josh Dobbs have?
I thought I saw that Dobbs had more points than Burrow. Is that
I don't
not
think
right?
it matters, but...
No, it does. In this, I don't. I mean, pull him up real quick, Trent. Did he? I'm getting a negative. You saw that, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah, no, he
you're in a
did.
different
This
league.
is
Dobbs
full
had
point.
.98, Trent.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So-
Okay.
I think there was a time in this league I'm looking at. Dobbs had 1 fantasy point, so there was a time when he had more.
I mean, Lamar only had 6. Like, Lamar was horrible.
yeah, and Lamar was a
today.
guy that I really thought was going to be turn the corner after getting paid. Maybe it's just because Andrews wasn't there. I don't know.
Dak was more
They
of
ran the ball a
Dak
lot.
was a game script thing. That's not really his fault. Kenny Pickett, man, hopefully better days ahead. Jalen Hurts only 12.5. Like, quarterbacks were just
Terrible.
kind of rough this week, man.
Baker Mayfield was quarterback 11 on the week so far.
Mac Jones was QB2.
Yeah, and I think Baker's streamable in the right situation this year.
Yeah, no, I had some Baker stacks in DFS this
Like,
You had
week.
Mac
he
Jones
looked
at
pretty-
QB two
Yeah,
behind.
behind
Tua.
Tua.
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Uh,
Jordan Love was 3.
yeah, Jordan Love looked good. The Packers are good. Their
Just
defense is legit, and
Valley Strong.
they are they have a good offense. Without Christian Watson, they're going to be good. I think Jaden Reed might have hurt himself
Yeah.
today.
Do you want to know
Jordan Love-
something wild?
Jordan Love might be a guy you want to pick up.
Jordan Love is 24 years old.
Yeah, I mean,
Why? He's been in the league. This is his 3rd year, right?
Yeah, Stetson Bennett's 25. I looked him up to see how old he was today, and to see he's 24, I'm like, didn't everyone just be like, man, it's so terrible that he's just kind of like riding the bench for these first 3 years, but it's like probably going to work out in his favor.
Yeah.
Like he's coming into a really good, like more mature part of his life, right?
Mm-hmm.
At 24, like it's tough to start at 21.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all saw the rookie quarterbacks today. Bryce Young had a hard times.
Some of my duds of the week, I have Lamar Jackson, DJ Moore. And I was watching that game. It looked like DJ Moore actually could have got more targets, could have got the ball more. I don't know if Justin Fields just the chemistry's not there. He threw him. He made an incredible catch out of bounds on a 2-point conversion at the end of the game. But I don't understand why he wasn't getting more targets. Why they didn't get more creative. I know Jair Alexander is really good, but I thought he would. And also, I lost a lot of sleeper plays because of DJ Moore. I had 2 plays that were multipliers, and he was the only one that didn't hit. And speaking of sleeper, that's the dude's favorite place to play fantasy football, guys. So go enter Dudes 100. They will match you up to $100. And if you haven't moved your whole league over there yet, they have live plays during the games. They're giving away a lot of free squares. You just got to get 2 different plays right, which it sounds easy. And maybe if you don't stack up 4 different plays, it is easy. But today I did, a couple of different sets, and they were a little different. And I basically went like 90% on my sleeper picks today, but I had DJ Moore in all of them. I needed him to get over 3.5 receptions, and he was stuck at 2. So I was really excited about DJ Moore. I had him as, one of my dudes of the year, hoping he gets better than this. And then Drake London out there just doing a jogathon out there. I don't know why. He got 1 target, I believe, 0 points.
90% of snaps.
I want to hear your Falcons take because I also want to hear your take on the running backs. Like I want to hear
The running backs.
So I have the snaps percentage.
Okay.
Bijan 65% snaps, 10 carries, 6 targets. Tyler Algier 54% snaps, 15 carries, 3 targets. You said you had stuff to say about him.
But mostly what I said about Drake London is that's what I was going to say. I think he got game scripted out today, and Kyle Pitts. I think that if Ritter is forced to throw those guys the ball, I think they'll make plays. I just don't think they had to do it today. The game was close. You know what I'm saying?
That's the problem with the Falcons is half their games they might not have to throw the ball.
Yeah.
And they won't.
Yeah,
That's
no,
the
they
problem
aren't.
with
Yeah,
those
because they have
guys.
they got fresh running backs
And they
back
have
there.
2 really good running backs.
And Cordell Patterson, I know he's a joker on their depth chart, but he didn't even play today, right? I think he was hurt.
I don't know.
So that's another guy that maybe in 2 weeks they have another, just fresh legs they're just thrown out there.
Here's my question though. Are you that confident they will throw the ball even when they're down?
I would hope so. I would hope so that if they're down 14 points.
How many points would it take for them to throw the ball to be down?
I'm hoping it's only 14, and I think Ritter is getting eased into it still too. But yeah, the Kyle Pitts stuff.
You also
it's
think
brutal.
Ritter's good, and I think Ritter sucks. So that's
Yeah, I don't think they had to lean on him today versus the Panthers. I think this was just what did
he
Ritter
went
have?
15 for 18.
115 yards. He had a TD.
Who did he throw a TD to?
Bijan.
Oh, Bijan, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, the running backs, what did I just say? The running backs had,
they got a lot of targets, right?
6 and 9 targets combined.
And he
Travis
threw the ball
Etienne
18
saved me
times.
quite a bit.
So nine of his targets went to running backs.
Yeah, 9 of his 18 passes went to running back.
Yeah, it could just be a total miss.
So I guess my thing is that also I think they're gonna have they're not gonna get as down in games because they're just gonna run the ball so much that
And they
They're
chew
gonna
the
eat up,
clock
chew
out.
up.
Yeah.
I mean, teams are gonna make him throw the ball eventually. But Algier and Bijan are good.
Yeah. No, that's.
So what are you worried about?
Oh, I'm definitely worried.
No. I'm more curious about your take on the running backs because you kind of when I brought up Algier earlier, you kind of dismissed him a little bit. You were not. You were just. I was like, well, what about Algier? And you were like, Bijan. They're gonna give him all the work.
I think that Bijan's going to start to pull away from this, but I think they're both good. I think
Algier
you can
looked
play-
really good
Yeah, you
today.
can play both of them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
You can.
Also, that's interesting.
Algier
They
had 23
played.
points, 2 touchdowns.
And it's
Yeah.
yeah.
94 yards.
Bijan on that touchdown looked really nice though on that pass.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but I just saw the Algier touchdowns and he looked real good running
Yeah.
football.
I just think I think Bijan as the season goes on will separate himself from Algier.
But also, if they're
more.
going to run the ball 30 times, it may not matter.
Yeah, they're gonna have to give him both.
Is
Is this do you have any duds you kind of want to talk about here, Jordan?
No, I just, man.
Is this one of the weirder first weeks of football?
Oh, we need to talk about the Ravens.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about running backs.
J.K. Dobbins, who's the running back there? I don't know if it's
gone.
Gus.
I think it's Justice Hill.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he had 8 carries, 9 yards, 2 touchdowns. They're also bringing up Melvin Gordon from the practice
I
squad.
forgot Melvin Gordon's there.
Gosh,
So-
that actually could get so ugly. Guys, this could be so ugly.
I think it's a stay away from me, honestly.
I'm going to put a tweet and email out with all our waivers. I might even go on tomorrow night and just do a 15-minute pod of just some waivers just for you guys if you want them on the, when I have a little better grasp of everything on Tuesday
Man, the
night.
guy I wish he's on injury reserve. The guy I wish they had still was Keaton Mitchell, the rookie out of East Carolina, because I think he could be the guy there. But Gus Edwards, is he?
This is J.K. Dobbins' career's over.
Yes.
Absolutely over.
No one's gonna keep him.
You know what? Maybe it is Gus Edwards. He had 8 carries, 32 yards.
That's what I'm.
It's a mess is
They
what
both
it is.
had. Gus Edwards didn't get any red zone carries.
I hope it's Ricard, but I know it's not.
He's a fullback, Trent.
I know, but he's awesome.
What?
Seahawks, guys, are we panicking? Is Geno done? Seth's wearing a
don't know if it's-
JSN jersey, one
I
of
don't
my
know if
duds
it's-
for the year.
I don't know if it's necessarily Gino's fault. We had 2 starting tackles get injured.
That's true. That doesn't help.
So
Definitely doesn't help.
Doesn't help. And you got Aaron Donald. Did you
But the
see him?
running-
Did you
that's
see
the-
him yell at Aaron Donald when he was about to get sacked?
who?
Did you see that clip? Did you see it? Aaron Donald's coming and he's about to hit Geno Smith, and Geno Smith's mic'd up, you know, and you just hear on the broadcast, OMG, and he throws the ball away.
No way.
Yeah, he just says, oh, like,
I probably wouldn't have used I definitely wouldn't have used those words, but I probably would have said something. If you
yeah,
see Aaron
and
Donald
your
running
pants,
at you,
and your pants might be wet.
might be worse than that. Like
They'd be brown.
yeah, there might be a
Maybe
worse
be
scenario.
curled up in the fetal position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you see Aaron Donald running at you in any situation, it's just not a good idea. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Seahawks
The
look bad.
Seahawks did not, and then also
running game actually wasn't
DK
terrible,
was
though.
pulled that dumb stunt where he just shoved that
was
guy.
So
No,
weird.
DK is that guy's he's a hothead.
That's a diva move, don't you think?
Oh,
It's
and maybe
very
Diva of the
diva.
week, just clipping
I
a guy
agree with
30
you.
yards from the
He's
field.
gonna,
Yeah.
he's gonna get fined for that.
If he doesn't get suspended,
He's gonna get fined for sure.
yeah,
At least
I
fine.
fined and suspended potentially on the table here.
Yeah.
Trent is on a cloud 9 because his team played so well. I'm sick of hearing about it. I can't stand the Cowboys.
The offense did nothing. I'm just kidding.
Jordan, do you want to say anything about your
Well,
Jags?
no, you were
in
just
there?
talking about being scared, you know, and
You know, the Jags made me
accidents.
nervous, Jordan.
What are you talking about?
How you said you'd be scared if Aaron Donald was running at you.
Yeah, totally.
He might do more than wet your pants.
Okay, are you gonna? Is this a?
Yeah,
trend?
no, just talking about Underdog. You know, Underdog's the
I
dude's
knew you
favorite
were gonna-
place.
I knew you was
We
Wait,
play
it's Underdog.
DFS. You can do some drafts. We did a draft on the pod. Who won?
You won. Stop
I won.
voting.
I honestly didn't look. I promise
You
you.
had
I didn't.
Tyreek Hill. Of course you won.
Oh, nice. I honestly
Yeah,
I forgot. We
I
did that
picked
during the live
guys,
stream.
I picked Chase over Tyreek Hill.
So
rough.
So we did an Underdog draft on here. Enter promo code dudes. They'll match you up to $100. We're gonna do a draft in here every week. You know, at the end of our Thursday pod.
Let's
So
clap
go
it up
check
for that.
out.
That's awesome. Come on.
it's
Let's
fun.
clap
It's
it
a
up for
good
that.
time.
I need to see Jordan clap. I'm not stopping until I see his
Sure,
hands.
hey,
There we go.
got
There we go.
we're on a little bit of tilting here, but yeah. Any other headline?
Here, Trent, I got a little. Let's play a little game here. Most surprising thing of the day for you.
Most surprising thing of the day for me.
He may not get back to this answer
I
tonight.
might need to think. When I woke up this morning, no.
He didn't get a cramp.
Let me-
He didn't have the
let me
double
see here.
Okay, I'll
underhooks,
go,
as
I'll
he
go.
calls
Yeah,
it.
you
Most
go.
surprising thing for me was the Niners Steelers game and how good Brock Purdy was and how bad Kenny Pickett was in that whole Steelers offense.
Okay.
Hate to say I told you so.
Seth, you have one? Phil, you guys have one?
I would say I'm surprised how bad the Bengals were.
That one, I would say it's just not because like they were on the road in Cleveland.
Yeah, I know.
Like they've struggled against Cleveland in the past. Like they did the same thing last year, week
But
1.
I just
like,
thought maybe this would be the game where it's like, okay, this isn't a trend anymore. You
for
know?
me also like right up there with the Steelers, you'd be like, how bad the Commanders look too. I thought they'd
Commanders
be
look
better.
bad. Yeah.
You have one yet, Trent?
I want to say Deshaun Watson finished as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Finished as QB6, 21 points on the day. Had some nice plays to Amari Cooper, stuff like
And
that.
he's
He had a
technically
rushing
tied.
touchdown,
He was-
Ran in a touchdown.
ran a touchdown.
He was technically tied for third, Trent, wasn't he?
Yes.
He's technically
Herbert,
tied for third.
And Richardson played really well. Like that surprised me. Like I kind of was pumping him up this offseason. He looked good. I know he got hurt. Sounds like he's going to play, but probably Richardson and Deshaun Watson were the biggest surprises I
agree
had
with
today
that.
for them playing. Speaking of the Browns, Elijah Moore had a good,
Yeah.
pretty solid game, and he got some handoffs. So you
And
might
not
want to look.
surprised.
That might be a good waiver wire ad. I'm not sure what his rostership is. And another thing didn't surprise me. The Chargers are still the Chargers. Like they just find ways to lose these close games that they should win. You know, the Dolphins had both. They had their best offensive lineman out, and they didn't give up one sack to Bosa or Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
Phil, anything? Surprising?
No, it's not necessarily a surprise, but it's just cool to see that the Lions are still, I don't want to call them clutch. No, hear me out. Game 1 back, it's not a Cinderella story. Like the Lions are going to be consistently good, I think, the remainder of the season. And I don't think you're going to stop this train. Like they may end up winning the NFC North. Like they're going to spank I think they're going to spank
Packers
the Vikings.
look pretty good.
They're going to spank the Vikings and they're going to spank the Panthers. Guaranteed. Like mark my words. No, sorry. Spank the Packers and spank the Vikings.
Interesting.
They might spank the Panthers too.
The other one,
But do you get what I'm saying? Like they played a gritty game a tough game against a
No,
team
I
who
agree.
gave them some handouts a little bit, but they grinded it out and ended up winning that game. Like I think that's a big
I
deal.
disagree with you. I just think it's crazy. You think they're gonna beat the Packers in Lambeau like that easy after how good the Packers look today on the
Yeah,
road.
don't count Dan Campbell out. That's all I'm saying.
I got one more question.
Calvin Ridley. This is a Calvin
Oh
Ridley
yeah,
pod.
I mean,
you
I'm
know,
not
Trevor
surprised though.
Lawrence,
It's what I expected, Trent.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
you know, like I thought
that
that
was
I
great
like
note.
this. I like this questions from Jordan. Like we should do that.
Hey,
I
that
have
was
one
questions.
more.
Yeah,
I
just
have
don't
one
give us
more.
the pop quizzes anymore, for goodness sake.
Yeah,
Like, give us a
but
little
also
prep.
when he like tries to prompt, really, that's what you're thinking. Like, dude, you asked my opinion. Like, I don't know what to say here, but I like them. I like them.
So I got one more.
Okay.
Who hurt you the most today?
Okay, who hurt me the most?
Hurts the most?
When I was
was
walking
the most
outside this
hurtful?
morning. Oh, never mind.
Stupid. Not even
What
funny.
player was the
Not
most
even
hurtful
funny.
to your wallet today?
Like just
You kind of already said yours today.
yeah, I would say DJ Moore was probably the most hurtful guy to me in fantasy football. Tyreek Hill, guy totally. I played against Justin
Tyreek
Fields.
Hill.
That's
I
how
played
I went with
against
it.
I played against Justin Fields, you know, in my home league, and I'm like, oh, Justin Fields is just wetting the bed. Like this is great. Terrible for my DJ Moore pick, but you know he also has Waddle Tyreek Hill. I've been calling Tyreek Hill Waddle all day today. I don't know why. And Tyreek Hill just goes absolutely bonkers on me. That last TD catch looks like it skids the Chargers corner's shoulder pad, and somehow he catches it for the touchdown.
11 for
Yeah.
15, 215, 2 touchdowns, 39 points.
Tyreek was really good for me, so I'm not
Ty-
complaining.
No, yeah, it was fun to watch, but I played Tyreek in 3 out of my 5, and he single-handed me, like lost.
Yeah, it's rough.
or-
You're
or
playing.
won the guy I was playing in 2 different leagues. So.
Yeah.
Trent or Seth, you have who's the most hurtful to you today?
And I want to say it was Drake London just putting up just a straight up dud. Like I could say like Chase, but he still got me 6.5 points. But I would say Drake London getting his absolute 0.
Phill?
Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts for me, and it wasn't that bad. I mean, it was 11 points in 2 different leagues, but I just expected a lot more from him. Was hoping for a lot more from him. I feel like that's pretty low.
I think the weather played a big role in quite a few of these games.
I got 3. I don't mean to go too overboard.
No.
but,
No, bring it. This is the
Um,
content that we earn for. What yearn for? Sorry, yearn.
Number 1, I would say, is Mike Williams. I could even pull it up right now. I'm not gonna be able to pull it. I had like 40% Mike Williams in DFS this week. I had Mike Williams props on the over his receiving yards. Like I had him paired with the free square with CMC on sleeper. He hurt me big time, and he went out for about the whole second quarter, which didn't help. And then number 2 would be Rashad White. I had like 55% Rashad White in DFS. And he was another one I had a lot of action on his rushing prop. And then
No Steelers.
no, I wasn't the Niners. I wasn't overexposed to the Steelers this week.
Okay, you didn't come in hot. Yeah,
I just wasn't
wise.
exposed to the Steelers
Yeah.
this week. And then number 3 would be Jamar Chase. I have him in my main league, one of my main money leagues, and that was killer. And then I actually have him stacked with Burrow in that league. And then
Fun.
I had lots of Jamar. I mean, I was very highly exposed to Hill, Jefferson, and Chase, and 2 of those 3 are really good. But you just need more at that salary in DFS. So those 3 guys were the most hurtful to. Honestly, if Mike Williams and Rashad White have big days, I'm probably feeling a lot better right now.
Even like Justin Jefferson had a really good game, but it was like all first half. It was really weird. I think he had over 100 and something yards in the first half. He
I mean,
finished
Ridley was the same way. They both were big first halves.
Maybe it just surprised me the Vikings lost that game with how fast they never really pulled away, but like Jefferson had a good game. Addison had a touchdown. Addison had 4 receptions for a touchdown, 14 fantasy points. I'm not sure what he's rostered completely.
How many targets did Addison have?
6.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, they're going to throw the ball. We know they're going to throw the ball. Madison didn't look great, like on the ground, but also like the Bucks still have a solid run defense.
Yeah.
The Bucks are a little better than I thought they were going to be. I mean, I think Vikings games are games you're going to want to target.
Dude, the only team that lost in the AFC South, was it the Panthers?
Well, won the AFC South.
NFC South, sorry.
NFC South would be
Saints won?
Panthers.
Yeah, so
That Saints-Titan game was ugly.
Raiders are in first place. We should probably, clap it up for that. We got a lot of Raiders listeners. Jordan, just be happy
What
for
was
our
your
listeners.
Seth? What was your Raiders?
not
I know
happy
you
for
got a good
Raiders
Raiders
listeners.
buddy. Was he just going off today?
I mean, no one was excited about Jimmy Garoppolo, but they
Was
won.
he was excited though about
They
the
won,
win?
and they were really happy
Talk-
that the Chargers lost.
Talk
Yeah.
about two wash quarterbacks in that game, Jimmy G and Jimmy G was
The
never
Raiders
good.
are the only team in the AFC West that won a game this week.
That's true. Yeah.
So
First place.
And this is the second or third year where they're doing divisional play, like right at the beginning, which to me, I just kind of hate it.
They've done it for a while.
I just said 3 years.
No, it's been longer than 3
I don't
years.
think it's. I don't think it's.
The
So,
Cowboys,
sure, there's been-
the Cowboys and Giants play week 1 every year for like almost
No,
as
but
long
like
as I can
more
remember.
consistently. More consistently. Usually, it's not divisional games right out the jump.
Take
Look it
your
up,
word-
Trent.
Take your word for it.
The last 3 years, it's been pretty intense. All right, what are we moving on here
Steph-
next? Is there anything, Jordan? Do you have any other questions? I shouldn't cut
No,
you off.
I
Let's
just-
maybe
I thought those
you
two
have
were
two.
pretty good.
Think of a third. We need a third question.
I can't,
Justin Fields was.
What'd you
brutal, but
snack
maybe
on during the
Pack-
game?
Yeah. Did you? Yeah. Justin Fields was brutal. Like
Yeah,
you
Justin
spent you
Fields.
spent draft capital on Justin Fields, and he totally just
He
simply did not care.
I guess maybe some other big surprises. Like we had some guys that had big weeks that like probably not a lot of people had or started. Jacoby Myers, Kendrick
Yeah.
Bourne, Michael Pittman. Like, is it possible he has another 20-point week? Maybe not.
Michael Pittman?
Yeah, Richardson
With the
might
way
just.
Richardson
yeah.
looked, yes.
Richardson's just
yeah.
gonna YOLO ball that guy.
But I mean, is Kendrick Bourne gonna have another 21-point week?
Well, part of that was Devontae Parker was out.
and Jacoby Myers, is he really gonna?
But
be that good
Pittman
on
definitely can.
Raiders?
Jacoby Myers
Yeah.
may not play football for a while. The guy was like, Trent said I can't use the word again, but he was literally knocked out cold. Like, the guy like got knocked out, like almost like he fought in the UFC fight the night before. Like,
Yeah, against Sean Strickland.
Also,
That was
No,
the
I
UFC
mean-
fight the night before.
yeah, I wasn't. I just Talk about the most
Well, he
surprising
won.
thing.
I said he
most
won.
surprising thing all weekend was Sean Strickland beating Izzy Adesanya.
And that probably hurt you the most.
Yeah, also very hurtful was Izzy
That
Adesanya
upset,
win.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead, Trent.
no, I think that kind of. Do we have any other football talk here we want to talk about on this? What else do you guys have?
I mean,
I've kind of went through my notes.
yeah,
I'll have a waiver article coming out. I'll
I
put that on
think for
Twitter
me,
and
like
stuff.
off the top of my head, like if I had to give like a top 5 waiver priority or top of my head right now, in really no particular order, I think it'd be like Gainwell, Kyron Williams, Puka Nacua from the Rams, maybe like a Gus Edwards, and then, man, is there anyone else that comes to your guys' mind?
If you want to grab Atwell,
Maybe Atwell is right there. Zay Jones, maybe he was. Christian Kirk was not involved. I'd like to see that. His target count and kind of like with
he
Zay
had- he
Jones.
had-
maybe
one-
maybe
I think he
Rashid
had-
Shaheed on the Saints had
Yeah.
a decent game in a deeper
Yeah,
league.
I think I like those Rams receivers a little bit better than him. Yeah, I'm gonna guess Jaguars must have been in 3 receiver
Kirk had
sets.
3
quite a bit.
targets.
I wonder what his snap percent was. If the snap percentage is there, I'm fine with it.
I did a little tight end tweet, about tight ends you could
Oh,
stream.
Likely was horrible today
Yeah.
too. Talking about another guy who was hurtful to the wallet. Isaiah Likely, just
I did it, yeah.
nothing. But again, that was a product of Lamar and how that game went, and
So-
Likely killed me.
I did a little thread on Twitter that had just tight ends to fill in. I did 3 tight ends that could fill in for Travis Kelce. I put Gerald Everett on there. Said Kellen Moore's been known in the past to have offenses that
Donald
target the
Parham.
tight end. I said Gerald
Parham.
Everett. It was Parham finally. He
been talking
had
about
9
Parham
fantasy
for
points.
years.
And then
You have been. We'll give you some credit for that.
the other
one.
guy I had was Jake Ferguson from Dallas.
Gosh, the guy couldn't catch it.
He couldn't
Ball
catch the
today.
ball, but he had 7 targets.
Yeah, they're gonna
It
use
was
So
also
I-
raining. It was raining
Yeah.
profusely.
So I think Jake. I think
So I have one
was-
more
it was
guy.
raining
Trent.
really
yeah,
bad.
Ferguson's a guy.
No.
Stash him.
One more guy that I think is also interesting is Luke Musgrave.
Yeah. Oh, he led his team in.
He led his team in snaps,
Okay.
skill player snaps.
Yeah, and he's the fastest guy in the wide receiver room, and he's a tight
Well,
end.
he's tied in.
Yeah.
I think that Luke Musgrave could be. He had 50 receiving yards today.
Yeah.
Curious how many catches were on those. I'm trying to.
And what is Musgrave's rostership? Did
It's
it go
probably
up?
not super high. Like
I think it's low.
Musgrave over Likely. Like Hayden Hurst is not, I think, a bad option either.
3 for 4.
What, Musgrave?
My sleeper is saying 0% roster.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't-
something's wrong right now on sleeper because I'm getting a lot of that for a couple different players. Trent, I wouldn't go off that.
Musgrave. Yeah, we
Yeah, I
watched
would
it. We
assume
all
it's-
watched
I would
him play
assume
at
it's
Fresno
very-
State last
Hayden
year.
Hurst had 7 targets today
Where's Hayden Hurst at right now?
in Carolina.
Okay.
I think that's one's also interesting. So there's just a few options, just quick waivers if off the top of my head.
All right. I don't know if I really want to touch any of the Chiefs running backs until I'm proved
No.
otherwise. Pacheco's the best one, but they still seem like they don't know their identity there yet.
Are we doing divas tonight?
Let's do
or
some
no?
divas. Anyone have any divas?
I have a
here?
diva.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
We talked about it in the text for a while. Like people who enjoy whatever this was called that I had to watch today on the Red Zone. You guys are divas. Like you guys, this is horrible.
What do you? Oh, are you talking about?
Oh my gosh, it is so much
He's a
worse.
Hanson hater.
It's so much. No, it's not Hanson. It's the production of it. Like,
Do you
it is
think-
so much worse than the DirecTV Siciliano old school NFL Sunday Ticket? Like, it is bad.
Really?
And you guys like it is mind blowing to me.
So what I was thinking about is maybe with the full slate and not as many buys and the morning slate having more games than normal, maybe it was extra behind than normal. I don't remember it being that far
it's usually
behind
not
last
that
year.
far.
Here's
Jordan.
my other issue.
It's usually not.
And I and also like I've had the old one for 7-8 years. So like I've watched it for 7-8 years.
You're
straight.
used to
Like,
it.
I'm used to it. It's like I'm like watching whip around coverage out there. Like it's like we're going like one play here, one play there, one play
No,
there.
I can understand what you're saying with that. I can
and,
understand what you're saying
And
that.
it's just like the team it's called the Red Zone Channel. The Dolphins are in the red zone right now. Why are we going away from the game?
I think they were missing. I think they were purposely being behind or something.
But even not even behind, just the way it's just like, why don't we just stay on this game? It's in the red zone. Why are we going to the Commanders game when it's
if it's a
second
closer
and
game though,
5?
if it's a closer game in the red zone where
in
they're
the
like,
second quarter though, why does it matter?
I'm just saying, I'm just trying to give you some potential
Yeah,
like
but
thoughts.
it's literally like, and when there's like
He's trying to talk you off a ledge.
when there's
Yeah.
like 2 games
I'm a
going
little bit
on,
worried.
I will say this: the afternoon there right after halftime, there's only 2 games, and they're going like back and forth. That was okay, but when there's like 7 games and you're trying to go like play here, play there, play there, play there, play there, play there, it's just like
No, I know what you're talking about.
It seemed very behind this week, and I don't know if they're trying something different.
That's
this
crazy
year,
to me though.
But it never was because I would get sleeper alerts, and then the play would happen on red zone. This year it was like Anthony Richardson's hurt, and I didn't find out for like 10 minutes on red zone.
so. Like we ended up like watching doing the 4 box, which is not the 4 box is sweet on
The
YouTube.
4 box is really cool.
Is it better than
but-
2 TVs?
2 TVs with the 4 box would be sweet. 'cause then you
I
could
don't know if I
pay.
can comprehend that much. If I'm being honest, like I don't know. I think I'm good with 4.
Well, yeah, I'm not. But the problem was, Trent, is that we had the 3 games and like we were watching like mostly like my dad's the Commanders fan, so we had the Commanders up there. I was the we were watching the Jaguars game, then we were watching a lot of the Vikings Tampa game. But like we would watch it and then we'd have the red zone on the one and like 45 seconds later the red zone would show the same play we already
That's pretty
Yeah.
had
bad.
watched.
And
So,
you're
like,
listening to Red Zone, huh?
listening
Because
to
you could
Red-
choose the yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I just think that like the way and maybe it's 1 week, maybe you'll get better, but like people who like that and honestly, like I could see why you like the Hanson over Siciliano. It's not about that for me. It's more about like just the way they run the production of it and how they run it and like
You went at Siciliano pretty hard there.
I like Siciliano.
I mean, sorry, Hanson.
No, it's not Hanson. It's not the person. It's the production of it. Like it's just how it's set up and
It's not them, it's you, kind of a deal.
no, it's not the guy.
I
It's
hate
like-
it when people tell me that.
It's not the employee. It's the employer.
I hear ya. No, but I understand what you're saying when they go back and forth
It's
too
just
quickly.
like-
But I will say, last year they were not so. They actually, I didn't think they were behind last year.
Yeah.
Did you think that, Trent?
I didn't think it was that. I always knew they
Did
were a
you,
little
Seth?
behind,
I
but
knew
not
they were a
that
little
bad.
behind, but usually not.
It wasn't.
And-
It
and I'll
wasn't
be honest,
45
It
seconds.
helps when buys come around and it's a little. Bit
I mean, I'll be honest. If you're only watching the Red Zone channel, it's probably okay because you don't know any better, right? But when like you're watching,
Usually, what I've done in the past, I have the one game on, and I have red zone on my iPad.
yeah.
Yeah, that's usually what I
But
do.
the 4
My
box
teams-
doesn't change that for you because you can just put 4 games up at once.
I did that today. Yeah. I actually didn't have red zone on really today.
Yeah.
I just did the 4
That's
bucks.
what we did at some point, just because it was like but then it's just kind of like it's nice that you can just have.
It's like
the red
football's
zone
back.
going, though.
Football's back. We're all excited. This guy's just blowing up the group text about how bad this red zone is.
Jordan had some bold takes. Jordan was fired up this weekend. He was upset that the Bulldogs won. And he's a Bulldog fan.
Yeah, it was-
Do you want to defend yourself on that? I shouldn't have brought
No,
it up.
it's
We can
not-
take
it's
that
not-
out. We can
not
take that
applicable
out.
to this podcast. So
I can take it
Seth,
out.
Seth, what do you have? What Diva of the week? You got anything? Yourself? Your father-in-law?
Fantasy
I don't know. I'm just
football,
trying to help
Your
you out.
father-in-law.
Fantasy football. I can't wait to go to sleep and forget about fantasy football today.
I don't even know what to say.
Sun will come out tomorrow.
Sun will come out tomorrow. It's only
We
week
got a Monday
one.
night
Yeah,
game
we got a
tomorrow,
Monday night
Seth.
game.
I'm saying I can't wait to go to sleep tomorrow and wake up and it's new.
We fire away again tomorrow.
You know what else makes me mad? You know what else, Diva? Sorry, I don't want to go out Underdog here, but Jordan told me before the pod he gets an Underdog promo, and I go to my phone, I don't have the promo.
That is.
What's up with that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll talk to our rep. I think that kind of does it, guys.
You don't have a diva?
Yeah,
No,
when
I said
when
there's
we're
people who
going,
don't use
when we're
calendars.
going
Oh,
bad
yeah,
on our
yeah,
partners,
yeah.
we probably
Yeah.
should end the pod.
I ain't going bad. I just want the same promos my buddy's getting.
Yeah,
Phil, do
especially
you have
if you're
a
an
diva?
advocate.
Phil, you have a diva?
No, I've probably been a diva too much in the last couple of weeks to really point the finger anywhere
Really, we
else.
could all said Phil was the diva of the week.
Yeah,
I
when
did that
there's
in a
one
poli-
finger pointing
I did
at
that
you,
in a
there's
polite way.
Yes,
you did it. Yeah, you did it in a polite way, and we couldn't really understand what you were saying because you're. Never mind. Just
Hey, remember, give us a check us out on YouTube. You can still see these cowboy boots Phil's been wearing. They're pretty nice. Go check us out on YouTube at tffdudes. We will
Size
see you
5.
guys on Thursday. And as always, take care.
This has been another episode of the Fantasy Football Dudes podcast. Remember to rate, review, and follow. For more information, go to www.thefantasyfootballdudes.com. And remember, we are sorry for absolutely nothing.